Hi, Shan.
Hi.
Hi, Shah.
Hi.
Today, we found the perfect person to show you how to interview for a growth role that pays upwards of 50 lakhs. We are going to put him through a practice interview with a really tough and challenging problem statement, and he's going to show you how you can solve it. So, watch this with your full attention and don't forget to take notes.
So, this is a hypothetical case.
Right.
You've heard of MailChimp?
Yeah.
These guys face an adoption problem in India. MailChimp tried something unique. They piloted an agency in India
Okay.
where they would use MailChimp and they would provide end-to-end marketing campaigns for their clients. So, instead of software, they're selling software plus services.
Right.
Now, 6 to 7 months into this pilot, generative AI is booming.
Yes.
And because of that, professional services is booming.
Right.
And MailChimp, because the agency is done well in India, these guys are thinking of turning the agency into a global capability center, something like a glorified agency that would not just serve India, that would also serve US clients.
Okay.
So you are interviewing for the business head role while you are piloting with certain US clients. There's a human issue that's come up. Because your team has only dealt with Indians, US context is becoming slightly hard to catch.
Okay.
So, like he said, it's a people problem. There is a client called Sarah. There is a key Indian member called Raj. He's a client servicing agent. What has happened is Raj was working for them on a video email campaign sort of a thing. And this was for their Thanksgiving holiday campaign. And it's one of their key campaigns for the year. What has happened is that Sarah feels like the team didn't deliver on what was promised. Why is this? Because she feels like all the cultural nuances are missing. For example, family gatherings, like like a dinner table visual, Black Friday shopping pieces, all of those things are missing. Like it doesn't cover everything very well. There's no flow, essentially, according to her. Now, Raj feels like he's delivering exactly what was promised and what was agreed in previous meetings. Now, Sarah is angry and she feels misunderstood, and she says that unless this is fixed immediately, she will take her business elsewhere, which is not acceptable to the agency. More importantly, it's not acceptable to get a bad rep at this point because they're one of our few pilot clients. We have to solve this issue. So just to begin with, imagine that you're walking into a room where Sarah and Raj are on a video call and they both look visibly stressed and there is a very heavy silence in the room.
Yeah.
You walk in to de-escalate. What do you do?
Because the stakes are very high.
Sure.
These are one of the few pilots that you have in the US. You've got to give the client a little bit of upper hand. Also, at the same time, making sure that the morale of the team does not go down. Making sure that they don't feel that you're putting all the blame on them, which
Sure.
is not right. I generally want to start off with the client. I want to give Sarah the opportunity to also rant a little more if she wants. Right?
Okay.
You want to let her take everything out that is in her mind at this moment. You also want to actually pick up the point where you say why she shouldn't move to a competitor. That is necessary to call it out, right?
And in that meeting.
In that meeting, in the first, and it's a very generic, statement. Something like, Sarah, I know at this moment, what you feel that you have all the right to move to our competitor. They do a good job, we do a good job. But remember, we made a mistake, they will also make mistakes. What happens and how we solve after this is what differentiates us from our competitors. And we're going to make sure that whatever turnaround happens, whatever changes happen, they happen in your favor because this is important for us. So just to build that before you go into the depth of this is what we can do and what you can't do, I think it is necessary to put it out absolutely in front that you understand the gravity of the situation, you understand that the expectations have not been met, but at the same time you also have to make sure that you and your team have the capability and are the right kind of people for this job, right?
Sure.
So that is where I would like to start.
Okay, this is what you would do for Sarah.
Yeah.
How would you ensure that Raj's morale stays intact? Because whatever the solution is, he's going to execute on it. So,
Absolutely. I personally would want to do this bit of conversation in depth with Raj and the team, probably outside this call. In this call, I would probably go in a little different way, where when I'm explaining Sarah about the context that we were building, what I was talking about, I would also place a couple of lines where I would tell her that, Sarah, you need to also understand root cause is not the intent or not the skill set or the capabilities of my team. So you rest assured the changes will happen. Root problem or the root cause is how the engagement has happened leading to this campaign.
Sure.
That is where the problem lies, and that needs to be solved and resolved together. We can't do it alone. We need your help to resolve it. That is how I make him understand. Just a hint.
So, Ishan,
Yeah.
this is not entirely about conflict resolution. Sure, two people have conflicted and you're here to calm them down. But it's slightly deeper.
Yeah.
Raj has grown up in an Indian household, probably lower middle class.
Right.
He's not been to the US.
Yeah.
He's probably seen a bunch of US content. He doesn't understand. He understands Diwali and Holi more than he understands Thanksgiving. He doesn't understand Black Friday. He's seen glimpse of it on the internet. But that cultural context is missing.
Yeah.
You can calm the situation down, but if Sarah actually moves to a US agency, she's probably better off. It'll probably cost her a little more, but she gets people who understand her.
Fair.
The question here is to solve a long-term issue. That is, how do you make this Indian team that's always serviced Indian people,
Yes.
has spent their entire lives in India, understand the cultural nuances that come with dealing with a US client serving US audiences?
Agreed. I completely agree, and that is probably the reason which Indian clients and the situations and scenarios here come naturally to everybody who's working in the team, right?
Yeah.
The first step, that is the reason probably in the entire conversation you also want to take up the responsibility of being in this stage. This is not something that you can blame Raj and the team. You have to take the blame on yourself. This is a gap that I should have identified beforehand, before we started scaling or setting up our base in the US. This is pretty obvious that there'll be a cultural difference, and you would have to set up certain workshops, training workshops for the team to make
Sure.
them align and get used to switch their default setting to US. So probably this could be a bunch of specific individuals, not the entire team, because you obviously still need people to do operations for the Indian clients. So maybe a separate team. Start with a few workshops, do it yourself. You have MailChimp, the entire resource and assets available because they are a US-based company. So you have resources there who can help out and take these workshops. What you need is actually just help them understand these certain cultural aspects of that region, right? Which is not a lot. Do it for a month. See the impact. See if it's helping out. See if you see if you're observing change in the mindset of your team.
Hello. Let's take a 10-second pause here. I want you to think about what else you would do to solve this problem more effectively. Okay, done? Let's go. I just have one question. Like you said, what you gave me was a slightly long-term view of how you would solve for this and how you'd integrate it for the rest of the team. But I'd love to understand how you would immediately kind of solve Sarah's problem.
Yeah.
Just for that particular campaign, the Thanksgiving campaign.
Right.
How do you understand the market better? 1. 2, what is it that you do to solve her problem?
Right. So if we still have time and we can do a turnaround for this Thanksgiving campaign, if we are still in that situation where we can make changes, I know video production is going to be difficult.
It's a cost company.
It's a cost to company, but I would be inclined to do that. Because in the situation, the client can leave. They have the right to, and they have the network, and they can easily move, and the competitor is waiting right next door. Right?
Yeah.
So they can easily move. So you got to solve for the current situation, but at the same time, the team and myself, we need to realize that we need to solve it in the long run, because it's not our fault 100%, right? There is, apart from the cultural nuances which we missed out on, which we can definitely, we've done it in the past, we'll do it again. Do whatever, how quickly you can, add more resources for this turnaround.
Your approach is do whatever it takes.
In this situation. So, and this situation, because it's the first initial plan, no way. I'm going to do everything in my capacity, even go out of my capacity to bring this turnaround, because I want the client to stay. I want my reputation to be maintained. And I know I will be able to keep my team motivated, because if it's not a close knitted relationship with the team right now, I want to build a close knitted relationship, because this is for me going to be a parallel team for US. It's going to be separate from.
Sure.
In the long run, that is going to be my number one priority. I want people working in US time, sitting in India, and specific, have that specific experience, know-how for catering US clients. That'd be my long-term,
Solution.
what to do in the next 365 days.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Lovely. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shan.
Thank you.